The final weekend of the regular season of USPBL baseball starts right now. From the USPBL pregame show alongside Dom Minchella, I'm Tom Cavanaugh. We're geared up for a great one. The Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers taking on the Utica Unicorns. And, Dom, we got to break into the standings real fast. But before we do that, we're going to talk about our sponsors that make our broadcast possible every single day. Belfour Property Restoration. Budweiser. Corewell Health, Dave & Buster's, DTE Energy, Fifth Third Bank, Jarbcom Audio Video Solutions, Jimmy John's, Macomb Community College, McLaren Macomb, McQuaid Heat and Cooling Plumbing and Refrigeration, Metro Detroit Chevy Dealers, Pepsi, and United Wholesale Mortgage. Appreciate every single sponsor that makes our broadcast possible all year long. It's a long season, and we're down to the final weekend. Just 3 games, a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday bout. But today's a huge game, Dom. We talk about the standings, and you look at where these teams are at. Top 3 teams are above 500, but this is a massive game for Utica because if the Unicorns lose today, the Westside Woolly Mammoths clinch first place, and we already know Birmingham at 16-26. They're locked up for that 4 spot, but a huge game for the Unicorns.
Yeah, this game could very well give us 2 teams, and one we should expect them next weekend for championship weekend. Unicorns have been 6-4 over their last 10, have been dominating recently against the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers, and they've also been picking it up offensively and defensively. I think they're hungry. They know that this is an elimination game, and they don't want to go out yet.
They control their own destiny. Simple as that. If they win their next couple games, they could sneak ahead of Westside. They just play one more time this week before we get into playoffs on September 5th, next Thursday. But you look at this Beaver team, a lot different from what they've been doing over the course of the last month. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. They are now 10 games under 500 at 16-26. They're still playing a good brand of baseball, but haven't had the same success that they did about a month ago.
Yeah, when we're looking at how they were shaping up at the beginning of the year, we would kind of be calling it crazy to see that all this improvement that they've had so far this season, from starting off being 3-16, making their way back to 16-26. It just seemed like they were kind of fighting destiny and some time. Yeah. Time is just running out of their hands, but they're looking to play spoilers here tonight for Utica.
And for Birmingham, they're 7.5 games back of first place, which mathematically takes them out of being able to clinch any other position but the 4th seed. So really, it's kind of a race over these next couple of days to see who's going to play the Beavers in that quarterfinal game on Thursday. And for Westside, Utica, and Eastside, only 1.5 games separates those 3 teams. So in reality, it's anybody's place to take first, second, or third.
We've got some late August baseball. This is super exciting, as tight as a race that we could have asked for. Multiple teams over the 20 mark wins. It's been a terrific, terrific season. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen for the next 3 games this week, and then next week we've got a championship trophy to be given out.
Oh yeah. Pitcher comparison when you're ready. National anthem in just a moment. When we come back, it's first pitch and lineups from the USPBL network. It's Beavers, it's Unicorns in just a moment on the USPBL network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities. Where good neighbors do great things. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
It's USA Hockey Night presented by Perani's Hockey World and CCM. Unicorns now take the field, and we're going to take a look at the pitcher comparison for both squads. We'll start with the man on the mound, Tristan Harvin. Good numbers for Tristan so far. Not a lot of time on the mound for either one of these guys. But Tristan, last time out, he delivered 3 strikeouts in 5 2/3 innings, just allowing 3 earned runs on 6 hits. Another tall right-hander for this Unicorn team that's had a great pitching staff all year long.
Any pitcher that's going to go out on the bump in recent games, it's nice to see that they have a batting average against way underneath 250. Hitters only hitting 204 against them. Sure, small sample size, but the sample size could be completely different if those numbers were mixed around.
How about Sam Bass, man? A .90 ERA in 20 innings. He's got a 2-0 record, only 2 earned runs in those 20 innings for Sam. He's been a beast and a workhorse for the Beaver team and has picked up a couple of big wins for them.
Yeah, he's a tall presence on the mound. The stat that stands out to me is his strikeouts to walks, 23 and 11 for strikeouts and walks. He's going to be throwing the ball in the zone. He's going to try and get these Unicorn hitters to swing and miss.
Take a look now at the lineups for both sides. The 16 and 26 Beavers will face Tristan Harvin. The Unicorns coming in at 23 and 20. For Birmingham, it's Ben Wilcoxon at shortstop batting first. Batting second is Matt Piotrowski at second base. Ray Hilbrick will DH and bat third. Batting fourth is Christian Ortega at third base. In left field, it's going to be Blake Bean. He's going to bat fifth. Joe Burke bats sixth at first. Batting seventh, Chase Rodriguez in center field. The catcher, Tyler Shin, bats eighth. And rounding out the lineup in right is Pablo Ruiz. We're set to go here just before 7:05 p.m. Harvin delivers a first pitch strike called at 7:03. Our umpire crew today, it's Ian Land behind the dish and Robert Lothian in the field. Glad to have you along on a beautiful Thursday afternoon, the kickoff to week 1 of college football, and quickly 0-2 to Wilcoxon.
Yeah, Ben Wilcoxon really could make the claim that he is the leader on this Beaver squad. Sure, the numbers aren't as high as we were expecting in the batting average department, but still, having his presence out on the field is going to make this Beaver team more comfortable.
Working an 0-2 count, puts one in play, pulls it on the ground to short. Baggett, underhand grab, flips to first, and there's 1 up, 1 down to start the ball game. Beavers coming in, hitting a total of 247 on average as a team, and they're giving up a 268 average in the field. Let's take a look now at this defense for Utica. No worries. Matt Piotrowski will now hit. We'll check that defense in just a moment, but we'll give you a few names. It was Baggett at shortstop. The catcher is Ethan Kreisen for Harvin. And look at Tristan right now, filling up the zone, has not thrown a ball out. That's 4 straight.
I know that you were off a little bit last week, Tom. Hold this thought. Matt Piotrowski recently in the weekend was had a stretch of 5 continuous straight hits, and you finished that weekend expanding and extending his hitting streak as well as his batting average on this season.
I mean, he's a beast. He's going for the batting title this year as he takes strike 3 on the corner. Tristan Harvin gets a looking K to Piotrowski, the man, with 48 hits, 7 doubles, and 7 home runs. Here's the defense presented by three-dimensional services group of Utica. So he said Kreisen behind the dish. Jared Weber making his first start in front of fans at third base. Baggett at shortstop. Andre Demetrol grabs second. Cody Hanna over at first. In the outfield from left to right is Kyle Schmeck, Marcus Titialii, and Ryan Enos.
You know, we're seeing some new positioning for the Unicorns. Like you mentioned, Weber over at third. Cody Hanna a little bit more time at first base. And Enos out there in right field.
Hilbrick will pop one up, shallow center field. In a few steps is Titialii, and heck of an inning from Tristan Harvin, filling up the strike zone.
That's a
we'll head to the
strong
bottom
inning.
half.
Strong.
Beavers come up. Sorry, Unicorns come up in the bottom half of the first. We got a great one on hand today.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Being a member of the Armed Forces takes bravery, perseverance, and a commitment to protecting our freedoms.
Whether you were discharged recently or years ago, Macomb County Veterans Services is here to help you access the benefits you've earned.
We are grateful to all who have served, including the more than 40,000 veterans who make Macomb their home, and know that returning home is both a time to celebrate and reflect. In Macomb County, we take pride in serving those who have served us.
For more information, visit us at macombvets.org.
And you're on with that lineup.
Beavers go 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Here come the Unicorns with their first crack at it offensively. Take a look at the lineup here for Utica. It's Andre Demetrol batting first, playing second base. Batting second, playing shortstop, Patrick Baggett. Batting third is Marcus Titialii, patrolling center field. The DH is Austin Ochoa, batting in the cleanup spot. One of the only lefties in the lineup, Cody Hanna bats fifth at first base. Jared Weber at third, bats sixth. Kyle Schmeck, he's batting seventh, playing left field. Batting eighth is Ryan Enos, he's in right. And the catcher, Ethan Kreisen, bats last. This Unicorn team has been playing very consistent baseball and have put themselves in an incredible position to grab one of the top 2 seeds, but are kind of on the ropes here today because with a loss, they will let Westside clinch that #1 seed.
They had a good start to the inning, though. That's exactly what they needed. 1-2-3. They also have the last ups in this game, being the home team.
Sam Bass evens the count up 1-1, and I love what I've seen from Sam so far in his career here in the USPBL. A 2-0 record, making his 4th career start, and he's got a .90 ERA, something you never really see this late in the season.
Yeah, especially with it being, you can make the claim of, oh, he hasn't been on the mound that much, but man, when he's out there, hitters don't have an answer for him.
I mean, 2 earned runs in 20 innings speaks for itself. There's strike 2 on the corner, evening the count up at 2s apiece. Bass, a slider-heavy pitcher. He'll go 4-seam fastball and just sprinkle in a splitter here and there. Demetrol fouls it away off the outside part of the plate to stay alive.
Demetrol's also been coming into his own, batting near the top of the lineup once more, playing a sound second base, almost the everyday second baseman for the Unicorns, and having Patrick Baggett to be his double play partner. It's got to feel super confident out there.
2-2 pitch, high and inside. We're going to go to full on the first batter, Andre Demetrol, who does that a lot. Demetrol, he's one hit away from a 30 mark on the year. Only 3 Unicorns have eclipsed that number of 30 hits. Foul ball. We'll do it again.
Yeah, the hits totals coming in. There's been a lot of guys recently who have been hitting over 30 hits. Granted, these guys are not playing every single day, so over the course of 4 months, that's a lot of hits.
Demetrol 3-2 again. Another foul to the screen. And that's what makes Andre so good and such a valuable leadoff hitter, is his ability to stay alive, fight off pitches, and just stay in at-bats. Sam Bass having to throw more pitches than he'd like to the first batter he faces.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and run up that pitch count, get him out of the game.
Bass goes through the windup. Breaking ball, bottom of the zone on the 3-2. It's a leadoff walk to Andre Demetrol, and the Unicorns already putting men in motion to start.
That's a textbook start for the Unicorns, exactly what they're looking for. 1, 2, 3 in the top half, getting their leadoff guy up with Patrick Baggett, who's been swinging a hot stick, hopefully moving him through to scoring position.
Unicorns in their home whites with block purple numbers on the back, and the Unicorns in red and purple across the front. Road jerseys for the Beavs, the navy blue with the beaver patch on the left pec and the red numbers on the front and back. Small lead at first for Demetrol. Baggett sits within a 1-0 count. Make it 1-1 on that foul tap.
You know, I'm a sucker for alternate jerseys, but something about these white-on-white Unicorns jerseys, they're just so clean and professional. You know that they mean business out there.
Bass sets for a long pause from the stretch. Checks the runner a few times, now goes home. There's a strike on the upper outside corner to Baggett. 1-2.
Yeah, he did not seem to like that call. Looking back at home plate umpire, just asking him if that's how far he's going to go today.
Man on, nobody out. Demetrol walked to start the ball game for Utica on offense, and he might be picked off, and he is. Sam Bass caught him leaning, and it's out number 1 as Demetrol is picked off of first.
That was so smooth. Demetrol a little bit antsy over there, first base, caught leaning, little happy feet over there, and Bass, perfect throw over to the first baseman.
1-2 pitch to Patrick. Just off, 2-2. So a leadoff walk goes by the wayside on a pickoff move from Sam Bass, which was really sneaky. Bass's last time out, he had 6 strikeouts in 5 innings, allowing 4 runs, none of them earned.
Seems to be that it's going to be this type of game here today, Tom. It's going to be grit on both sides.
And that's what we get from both these teams. Unicorns, they always play competitive baseball games. 1-, 2-run games. The 2-2 is outside to Baggett. And same thing with the Beavers. I mean, they caught their stride about a month ago. They were smashing baseballs all over the park and winning games by wide margins. And now down the stretch, it's starting to get a little tighter because a big reason these guys are so familiar with each other, especially the hitter-pitcher battle, as it's now 2 straight walks from Sam Bass to start his outing.
Yeah, but you would have never known it by looking at who's on the base paths right now as we take a look at the Beavers' defense here today.
Tyler Shin going to do the catching for Sam Bass. Christian Ortega at third base. Ben Wilcoxon, as always, at short. Same thing with Matt Piotrowski at second base. Joe Burke at first, and the outfield left to right is Blake Bean, Chase Rodriguez, and Pablo Ruiz. Marcus Titialii. And now Baggett takes off on the first pitch. This ball trickles into center field. Baggett thought about it, now retreats after 1 step. So getting aggressive on the first pitch. Patrick Baggett steals yet another base on the season. That's number 15.
Yeah, Patrick Baggett taking it into his own hands, seeing that his brethren got thrown out at first base. He's picking up exactly where he left off.
What a start to the year for Titialii. He was a very late add. 10 for his first 33. He's hitting .303 with 8 RBIs and 3 long balls.
Almost as fun is to pronounce his name as to watch this guy hit.
I love that. Semi-open stance for Titialii. Now he takes strike 2. Middle a little bit high near the shoulders.
Titialii went yard last weekend for the
Marcus out of Peoria, Arizona, played college baseball at 2 different schools, Bellevue College and Arizona Christian. And there's an eephus pitch as time was called. It was in for a strike, but not going to count.
Looked like one of those throws down at the wiffle ball field that we've got at Jimmy John's Field. I've become far too familiar with that recently.
It looked like my softball league. Here's the 1-2 from Bass. Swing and a miss. First out of the inning comes at the hands of Marcus Titiali'i. Sorry, second out of the inning after the pickoff.
They'll take the 2 outs, especially with back-to-back walks, but only one man on base.
Taking off for third now is Baggett. The throw down bounces in. It gets away from Ortega all the way down into left field. Baggett will come around and score, and Utica leads 1-0.
Patrick Baggett took it into his own hands. He said, you know what, I don't even need the ball to be put in play off the bat of my teammates. I'm just going to use my God-given wheels that he gave me in stealing second, third, and just trotting in after that pass ball. Way to go, Pat.
That's aggressive base running right there. And when you get aggressive and you do it wisely, good things will happen. And that's a great example of it right there. Ground ball to third base from Ochoa. Waist-high grab for Ortega, flip on to first, ends the inning, but not before. A pair of walks lead to just 1 run. Patrick Baggett steals second and third and comes in to score on a throwing error. 1-0 after 1. We go to the second on the USPBL Network. Unicorns with the lead.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
With a transforming world, we can see how drastically the world is heading towards automation. And so, we need 24/7 surveillance and security systems for our homes and businesses to avoid any theft or breach of privacy. JARBCOM brings the installation of security cameras to the tip of your fingers with our state-of-the-art mobile app. JARBCOM also provides surveillance monitoring of your entire property with flexible options that offer a dependable solution to be scaled to fit any domestic or commercial need. Contact JARBCOM today for a free estimate at 800-369-0374 or look us up on the web at jarbcom.com.
Top 2. Tom Cavanaugh alongside Don Minchella from the USPBL Network. Glad to have you along on USA Hockey Night at Jimmy John's Field. And the Unicorns, who need a big win today to stay in contention for first place, starting off on the right note with a little help from Patrick Baggett and his wheels.
Also a little bit of help from the Beaver catcher, throwing that a little bit wide, just sailing it down to the left field corner. But you know what? If you don't keep an eye on Patrick Baggett, that's what he's going to do. He's going to run on you.
First pitch to Christian Ortega is a ball low and outside. Christian's been the cleanup man for most of the year for the Beavers. He's the reigning home run derby champion. This one spiked in the dirt, 2-0. That's the first couple balls that Harvin has thrown today. He was all strikes in that first. This one squeaks by Kreisen. Another low pitch, 3-0 to the cleanup hitter, Christian Ortega.
Beavers looking to get their leadoff guy in this top half of the second on and answer back to that early run.
4 straight balls for a walk. Christian Ortega with a leadoff base on balls to start things for the Beavs.
Yeah, we don't really see that a whole lot out of Ortega. That was only his 13th walk this season. He's typically a swinger at the plate. He likes putting the ball in play.
Gonna bring up Blake Bean. Another late addition to this team about a month and a half ago and has just shot out of a cannon along with guys like Pablo Ruiz and Chase Rodriguez.
They've just brought some swagger back to this Beaver team that was just looking a little bit lost to begin the beginning of the year. As I mentioned, 3-16 start around July 4th, pushing forward with the likes of Bean and Ruiz. Exactly, it's a fire starter.
They've added a few key pieces in the pitching arsenal as well to keep that team ERA down just about 6. Small lead for Ortega at first. The 1-1 to Blake Bean is on the outside corner for strike 2.
Yeah, both hitters on both the home and away side, they need to get familiar with that strike zone. 2 calls that did not go the batter's way already.
Swing and a miss. Blake Bean on the off speed goes fishing at the bottom of the zone. Man on and man out for Joe Burke. Tristan Harvin looks really good right now. Besides that 4-pitch walk to Ortega, he is dialed right back in with that strikeout to Bean, filling up the strike zone minus that 1 batter.
Now he's just showing these guys that he can pitch out of the stretch just as effectively as he does in the windup.
As we said, in 5 2/3 innings last time out against these same Beavers on August 17th. Harvin had himself just 2 walks, also struck out 3. Joe Burke with 23 hits this year, 2 of them homers, 3 are doubles. He's hitting .250 on the season and has really sat in the middle of this lineup all year long as he pops one back to the screen.
You got to think about this as well, Tom, knowing that Christian Ortega is over at first base compared to Patrick Baggett. You've got some speed and you've got a base-stealing threat versus a guy who's just going to go on contact. We're not going to see a lot of Ortega taking off here. And, you know, Harvin's, I think he knows that in the back of his mind.
He's got that high leg kick right now, so not rushing towards the plate in case of a stolen base attempt. Burke fouls it off. He's now down in the count. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, but Ortega is a very smart base runner. He's going to know if it trickles off the catcher Ethan Kreisen, he's going to get moving down the second.
Wind right now blowing out towards left center field from first base. The pennants in left also blowing out into straightaway left field. Here's a pickoff towards Ortega. He dives back safe. It's getting about that time. No longer the longest days of the year as the sun is continuing to set just a little bit. We usually see it setting closer to 9 o'clock, but late August, it's going to be down before 8. Here's a high pop-up. Shallow left field. Baggett scales out, calls off his left fielder, and makes a waist-high grab for out number 2.
Yeah, you can see, Kyle Schmack looking at Patrick Baggett, kind of like, oh, come on, man, I want to touch the ball.
I mean, with how this Beaver team's hitting, I think Kyle Schmack's going to have his fair chances. But a ton of lefties also in this lineup for Birmingham. You got Hilbrick, Bean, and Rodriguez, who now stands up at the dish, sporting the red bat along with the red sleeve. Harvin's first offering is popped in the air as well. Baggett calling for it at his shortstop position and makes the catch for out number 3. Leadoff walk to Christian Ortega does not come to pass. We head to the bottom of the second inning. 1-0 Unicorns over the Beavers on the USPBL network.
Check your checking. If your account doesn't get you pumped, amped, or geeked, make the switch to Genius Checking from Genesis Credit Union. It's just genius.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal-getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
When it's time for baseball, it's time for beer. Two Hearted Ale has been named the #1 beer in America for the past 4 years by members of the American Home Brewers Association. Play ball with the best. Two Hearted Ale, the American IPA from Bell's Brewery, Comstock, Michigan. Please drink responsibly. Unicorns with a 1-run advantage. Batting for the second time against Sam Bass. They made him throw a lot of pitches in that first inning, Dom. 23 on the count for Sam Bass. He walked 2, got a big strikeout, but that pickoff to Demetrol is what really lessened the damage. And you got to give credit to Patrick Baggett for stealing his way all the way around the bases.
Yeah, it was really just kind of exactly what I was touching on. You got to keep a close eye on Patrick Baggett and some other of these assets on the Unicorns team. If you're not going to hold them close, they're going to take second. But, you know, it's a good inning to walk away from knowing that he's got a goose egg in the hit column.
Cody Hanna will start things as he pops one up opposite way, shallow left field, long run for Will Coxon. He can't get there. The ball falls, and it's a leadoff hit for Cody Hanna, who puts a Texas leaguer the opposite way.
Yeah, it just looked like it was tailing away from, from Will Coxon. As you can see right there, right off the glove. Kind of got a little busy out there with Blake Bean pushing in as well, but a strong throw by Will Coxon, keeping him at first base.
I think a big reason he did not get to that baseball is because he was tracking it, but at the last second, he took his eyes off the ball, looked at Bean to see how far Blake was from him, and then when he went to, I guess, reconnect eyesight with the baseball, he was out of reach. Blocked up by Shin on the first pitch to Jared Weber, as we mentioned, making his debut in front of fans at third base. Got to chat with him pregame. He's played a couple non-public games at third so far this year, but it's a new face for fans to see over at the hot corner.
Yeah, he's just an athlete as well. You can definitely tell that if you can play first base, a lot of times you can flip over onto the hot corner.
Weber's had a fantastic season, 32 total hits, as this is in the dirt as well. 32 hits for Jared, 7 doubles, 5 homers, and 28 RBIs. That leads the team.
Yeah, even when the offense for the Unicorns was low, Jared Weber was not.
3-0 pitch called for a strike, upper outside corner. Taking off for second base is Hanna. Here's a pop-up on the infield. Cody's going to have to retreat. Piotrowski going back. Cannot make the catch. They're going to flip over to second base. Hanna is out on the force, considering he was standing over at first, not expecting a drop baseball. But now 2 sky-high pop-ups that have been misplayed from, I could argue, the best middle infielders in the entire league.
It was drifting away from him, but let's also break it down again. As I mentioned, Sam Bass has not been keeping tabs on the base runners over at first base. Hanna was taking off. A lot of movement and the wind up in the air, you know, and I think he just got lost in the sun, the only part of the infield that sun is hitting.
That's a good point. Pretty much the entire field, I'd say about 75% of the field is shaded. It's just first base, half of second, and all of right field that are in the sun. So right now, posing issues on Piotrowski, Ruiz, and Burke. Swing and a miss from Schmack, make it 0-2. So a man on, a man out. A 1-0 lead for Utica after a couple of botched balls from Will Coxon and Piotrowski. Bass now works third base side of the rubber, an extra pause from the stretch. Slide step goes home. Slider is outside.
Yeah, and he typically leans on that pitch, as you mentioned earlier. Loves throwing that slider, darting away from right-handed hitters.
Has had a swing and miss on it already. Got TT Ali'i back in the first. Here's the 1-2. Another pop-up. This one shallow again. Piotrowski coming over. This time makes the catch. That was a tougher play. Piotrowski scaling over towards the line, and there's now 2 outs.
They're keeping that middle infield for the Beavers busy. Props to these guys for covering all the ground that they have been. And, you know, with already a 2 drop balls that we've seen, they've still got a base runner at first base. You know, best case scenario maybe, but you know, you don't want to see any drop balls, but only one guy on base because of it.
Weber taking off for second. Throw down from Shin is close but not in time. Stolen base for Jared Weber. There's a man in scoring position with 2 gone for Ryan Enos.
It's almost like you can kind of tell looking at this replay, these Unicorn base runners know that Bass has not looked once at them, and they're just going to take off. Might be a strategic change when he heads back into the dugout.
0-1 to Enos, grounded to third base. Underhand grab from Ortega, cross diamond throw for out number 3. So a leadoff hit from Cody Hanna, stranded over at second base, was Weber, and that's the end of 2. We go to the third, 1-0 Unicorns. You're watching the USPBL Network.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood.
And reset our life around zapping stuff and cheering for stuff with your friends. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
Just around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, grab your playoff tickets now. Starting September 5th, Thursday, is our quarterfinal game. It's single elimination from the playoffs here at Jimmy John's Field and the USPBL. But make sure you get those tickets for the 5th, 6th, and 7th. And especially if you're a Birmingham Bloomfield Beaver fan, they will play on that September 5th, Thursday. Got to get your tickets for that day if you're a Beavs fan, because you know they're playing.
And also, you got to stay tuned for the rest of this ball game. If Utica walks away with the win, first place is still up for grabs. But if they fall short to Birmingham Bloomfield, you're going to see the Westside Woolly Mammoths play on September 7th, fighting for that USPBL championship.
After today, both these teams will have one more game to play in their regular season. And if Utica loses, as you mentioned, they'll be a game and a half out of first place. Mathematically, there's no way for them to be able to catch the Mammoths a game and a half back with just one to play. So, I mean, that's where it is right here, and Utica knows that coming into this contest. Tyler Shin cuts at the first pitch and fouls it off himself.
Yeah, we've seen some crazier things happen in the playoffs here at USPBL. A lot, especially in more recent history, the Unicorns came in as the 4 seed, exactly in the positions where the Beavers found themselves, and yet they were holding up that championship trophy at the end. That's what happens when there's only 4 teams, but they're all going to be competitive.
And I got to give credit to those Hoppers as well. They were in quite the drought, and last week they popped off for some clutch wins, especially the one they grabbed over Westside.
Yeah, it was very cool to call that game alongside Alex, seeing some clutch home runs from both Cedeno and Noah Marcoux late.
0-2 to Tyler Shin. Tristan Harvin still working well on the bump. He misses with that slide piece, 1-2.
I know I mentioned this to you earlier before the broadcast. In the more recent meetings between Utica and Birmingham Bloomfield, we have seen, strike 3 right there. We've seen only a 1-run contest between these teams, all going in the Unicorns' favor, regardless of that 10-5 win that the Beavers recently had over the Unicorns earlier this month.
And that's how you know Utica does a nice job of winning close games. They're 10-4 against Birmingham this season, so they have their number, but they're doing it by a very slim margin. Third strikeout of the night for Tristan Harvin comes at the hands of Shin. Here comes Pablo Ruiz. Ruiz, along with guys of the likes of Bean and Rodriguez, I should say, have found success in their first couple weeks. This is a tap on the ground, fair ball. Bare hand from Kreisen. He guns to first. 2 up, 2 down. But Ruiz, he made that close. He's got some speed, as we've seen on the base paths and the outfield.
That's a difficult play for a catcher right there. But luckily, just staying on the inner part of first base, knowing that Hannah was going to be on the other side. Great play by Ethan Kreisen, keeping his focus and not throwing that ball away.
Being able to get your body all the way around, square your shoulders up to first base, and bare hand. Sometimes you'll see guys swipe with the glove at any position, which can cause problems. First pitch to Wilcoxon, grounded to Weber. He makes a nice forehand play, and Tristan Harvin is cruising. That's the fifth third bank out of the ball game. And with that comes JJ the Water Boy. See him down there on the first base line. Go get him, JJ. He's going to go hydrate our field umpire, Robert Lothian. He's going to get a treat for his services. This presented by Michigan First Credit Union. And we thank JJ for all the help he's done all season. It's been a long year for everybody here, the players, the staff, and especially JJ.
Well, you know, anytime that he's here at all of the games, you got to come see JJ. He's the star of the show. Maybe he'll bring you a water bottle in the stands.
We go bottom 3, 1-0 Unicorns in the USPBL network.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Unicorns got one in the first. They come up to bat for the third time, starting with Ethan Kreisen. It's a slim game, 1-0, but that's what we expected between these two games, or these two teams.
Yeah, we haven't seen a whole lot of hits in the hit department, exactly. But there's still that one run, just that one mistake, and you know that Birmingham Bloomfield is going to try and erase that.
That one hit coming from Cody Hanna, who dropped it down the left field line last inning. It's been base runners on for every inning. Unicorns have come to the dish. Tristan Harvin for Utica, posting 3 innings in his first 3 frames. Kreisen takes ball 1 outside.
This is a bat that's been heating up.
Make it 1-1 with that slider grab in the corner. Yeah, Kreisen, I mean, we just saw him make a fantastic play behind the dish. He's very trustworthy back there, but if you can bring the bat as well as a catcher, I mean, you're extremely valuable. Here's a half swing. He definitely went around 1-2.
Yeah, he's seeing that average climb. Just a knock underneath 250 is also in recent games been delivering the opposite way, pulling the ball, going exactly where it's pitched. More professional and relaxed approach as he takes his time out.
He's also had a couple of home runs in the last couple of weeks, showing off that power. Bass grunts as he spikes this ball in the other batter's box. 2-2 to the 9 batter, Ethan Kreisen. And here's a thing for Sam Bass to really focus on here over his next couple of innings. You got to get the leadoff man out. He let up the leadoff hit to Hanna last inning and walked Demetral to start in the first. We're going to push to a full count, 3-2.
But you got to just think how the damage could have been in that first inning if he wasn't able to pick off Demetral at first base.
Andre waiting on deck, the 3-2. Yes, he did go around. Strike 3 called on Ethan Kreisen. That's second strikeout for Sam Bass. That was a nasty pitch at the bottom of the zone.
Well, there you go, Tom. Exactly on what you said. Leadoff batter is retired for Sam Bass. Let's see if he can get through this inning unscathed.
That'll bring Demetrol back to the dish. Walked to lead off the ball game offensively for Utica, and then was picked off. Little chin music, high and inside. Andre turns out of the way. Bass drops the glove to the windup, the 1-0. Make it 2 balls and no strikes. That one fading down and outside.
And if you're Demetrol here, you're 2-0 count, knowing that you walked in the first at bat, you got to think, is he going to throw you another?
There it is, breaking pitch, splits the zone, right at the belt, 2-1. Demetrol is the king of working counts. Him, Will Coxon, Fox Liam, they all do a great job of seeing the most pitches. It's now a hitter's count for Andre.
Oh, he's super, super selective. I bet you that if he's looking for one pitch in one location here, and if he gets it, he's going to drive it.
He's got 29 walks and 29 strikeouts on the year. That's a very impressive stat. Second straight full count that Sam Bass will go to. It's the 4th that he has dealt with so far today. And he's approaching 50 pitches as well. 3-2 delivery is a called third on the outside corner, bottom of the zone. Back-to-back strikeouts make it 3 on the day for Sam Bass. What a start to the 3rd inning for him.
Yeah, Bass won that battle against Demetrol. Demetrol did not get his bat off of his shoulders. He might have been a little bit too selective. As we see, it kind of looked like it caught the bottom part of the zone. But Demetrol, he was seeing something different at the plate.
That's a pitcher's pitch just below the knees. And on our stats card here, it shows that it grabbed the very bottom rung.
It's also got to be a great frame job by Tyler Shin.
Patrick Baggett lines one out to right field on one hop to Ruiz. And he's going to try to first. They got him home, my goodness. Pablo Ruiz showing off the cannon. 9-3 is the putout. Baggett and assistant coach Pat Adams are up in arms. I can't believe that. Let's take another look.
I don't think we've seen that this year, Tom.
Baggett was Cadillacing it out of the box thinking it was a base hit. Watch Ruiz. He double clutches and then says, screw it, I'm going.
Oh, I think he did get him.
9-3 put out to end the inning. We go to the 4th. 1-0 Utica on the USPBL network.
Time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
How about this play from Pablo Ruiz of the Beavers? Catches a line drive base hit on one hop and says, nope, I got you at first, big fella. That was an incredible play, Dom. I can't believe that.
I'm still speechless in the booth. My hands were on my head, similar to how Patrick Baggett's were when looking at the first base umpire.
Matt Piotrowski will lead off the 4th with a 2-0 count against Tristan Harvin, who has been awesome today. He works first base side of the rubber through the windup, tugs. 3-0.
What that play teaches young kids is to always hustle to first base. Just never sure out.
It's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Piotrowski to start things off. Second walk of the day for Matt Piotrowski, or sorry, for Tristan Harvin. Piotrowski is now 0 for 1 with a walk. I mean, so Baggett, he's not a guy that's lazy at all. He's a very hardworking player at all times. He just did not think that Ruiz was going to get to that baseball as quick as he did, because Patrick out of the box, I mean, he was taking his round. But as soon as he saw Ruiz come up and try to throw, he turned the Jets back on. I mean, that's a great play from Pablo. Wow.
And that first base umpire is also, he's just got to go based on his guts. It's almost like a similar situation as if you're running, if there's going to be a close play at home and you don't slide, the umpire's going to lean more towards that you're out. Maybe Baggett thought that he hit it a little bit too hard. Maybe he just blooped it in there. He's like, oh, I did not think that Ruiz had any chance. But, man, he proved him wrong.
Swing and a miss from Hilbrick. 1-1 count to Ray, who flied out to center field his last time. Beavers, one other base runner besides Piotrowski there at first. It was Ortega who walked in the second. He was stranded at first. Ray taps it foul right behind him. I just don't think Patrick thought he could possibly be out on a base hit to right field there, especially because Ruiz wasn't playing extremely shallow. He was playing about middle depth and right, but he showed off a heck of an arm.
I'm excited to see what he does in his next at-bat. A little bit of a revenge.
Maybe he pokes one out to right again and goes on a beeline to first base, making sure he can get there. Quick pick over towards Piotrowski. He's back standing up. 1-2 to Hilbrick.
Still looking for that first home run of the year. Do you think it could happen right here?
Love to see it. You look at Harvin's numbers. He doesn't give up many extra base hits. Just 2 doubles allowed. No triples, no homers. Tristan has kept much of everything in the ballpark. Two is upstairs. Full count to Ray. He was a batting champion a year ago in the USPBL. And he is another man with over 40 hits. 42 for Ray in 43 games.
That's production at the plate right there.
There's a ground ball up the middle. Gets past the glove of Harvin into center field. Make it 43 in 44 games for Ray Hilbrick. 2 on, nobody out for the Beavers.
First hit today for the Beavers. Exactly what we were looking for out of Hilbrick. They know that he's going to put the ball in play. He's going to find a way to advance a runner. He's going to find a way to get himself on base for his team. He's very much the team player, the baton passer. It's a tongue twister right there.
Ortega will see pitch number 36 out of the hand of Harvin. He drags it fouled on the third baseline. A walk last time for Ortega.
He's got 10 RBIs so far on the year. Usually when he's up to the plate, there's either no one on base or he hasn't been coming up a little clutch. I want to see Christian Ortega deliver and tie up this ball game. Make it interesting, Christian. Let's go.
Close stance, cocks the bat over the right shoulder while he leans down towards the plate. The 0-1 is outside and low.
We've seen him handle the bat terrifically. As you mentioned, home run derby champion. It's been a mainstay here in the USPBL for a couple years now. They know exactly what they're looking for.
11 of his 25 hits have been extra bases. Another spike pitch from Harvin, 2-1. Tristan still low in his pitch count at the moment. Definitely not going to dip into the bullpen anytime soon, just because of how efficient he's been on the bump. Just a couple hiccups coming in this inning. The walk to Piotrowski to lead things off, and a hard hit base hit up the middle from Hilbrick. 2-1 on the way. Strike called, top of the zone. I mean, that's right on the corner, as it shows for us.
Exactly on the corner. That's the kind that could go 50-50. In Ortega's mind, he knew that it was a ball, but not for the home plate umpire. That caught the black.
Harvin's 2-2 is blocked up by Kreisen. He keeps it right in front at the dish. Another full count. Second in a row for Tristan Harvin on the bump. Harvin, 6 foot, $185, out of Birmingham Southern College. Played for the Unicorns back in 2023. Three-two, does not catch the corner. A third walk for Harvin, the second of the inning, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Birmingham.
Blake Bean coming to the dish as well.
Conversation between Kreisen and Harvin. Up until this point, the first 3 innings for Tristan were incredible. Went 1-2-3 in the first and the third, and allowed just 1 base runner on the walk to Ortega in the second. Has also posted 3 strikeouts.
This is the best chance that we've seen the Beavers have thus far in the game. Only one hit for each team has seen some sound defense, but just the walk has been biting both these teams in the butt. No outs here, Tom.
No better chance for Blake Bean. He pops one up. Third base side. Is it playable for Weber? Camping underneath, makes the catch, reaching backwards. Jared Weber, newbie to third base, and he looks like an everyday player at the hot corner. Nice job right here as we take another look.
That play is super, super difficult for any infielder as well, but you know, that foul ground here at Jimmy John's Field played a huge part in making Weber able to run down that baseball. Huge first out.
There's Joe Burke with 1 gone and the bases juiced. He takes ball 1. And a big reason why corner infielders have a lot of trouble with those pop-ups in foul ground is because the ball swings back towards fair territory. So Weber, it looked like he overran it. It's just that the ball had so much spin that it was tailing back on him, and he was still able to make the catch. Straight call to Burke, evening up the count.
Yeah, these are some big moments that these players are looking to succeed in. Bases loaded does not happen very often.
Harvin, first base side of the rubber. The 1-1. Way outside. It's going to get away from Kreisen. Coming to the dish, Piotrowski. There will not be a throw, and we're tied.
We've seen both of the runs today score on a mishap by the catcher. This one was a wild pitch. Earlier was a wild throw. It's a close one with guys still in scoring position. Looks like he just yanked it, and Ethan Kreisen wasn't able to block it.
Runners move up to second and third. It was just Kreisen didn't have his right shoulder all the way curled around back towards home plate. And with it being open slightly is allowing that ball to ricochet off and squirt to the right. 1-1 tie. We're in the fourth. Burke looks at ball 3. Pop out to shortstop last time for Joe. 8 home runs in the USPBL last season. He's a 4-year vet. Kick and fire from Harvin. Gets a swing and a miss. Tying up Burke to a full count, 3-2. Runners on second and third, less than 2 outs. Got to get a job done and hit a ground ball up the middle.
Yeah, that's what you're looking for. Best case scenario is just to get it into the outfield, to drive in 2. But if you put it in play on the infield with how the Unicorns are positioned, they're going to give up that run.
Full count, swing and a miss. Joe Burke goes down swinging. That's strikeout number 4 for number 4, Tristan Harvin, and that's a big one. Second and third, less than 2 outs, and you get to strike out the 6-hitter who has a ton of pop.
Yeah, Harvin has been maneuvering his way through this inning surprisingly well. The bases were loaded with 0 outs. Now we've got 1 run in just on a mishap from the overthrow, and 1 pop-up and a strikeout.
Ooh, Rodriguez wanted the drag bunt right there, just fouls it away. Pop out to shortstop last time for Chase as well.
Talk about a guy who has had an impact so far. 7 home runs in very few plate appearances.
It's incredible. 0-1 pitch, swung on and missed. I mean, you look at Matt Piotrowski, right? One of the best hitters, if not the best hitter in the league. He's got 7 home runs in 38 games. Chase Rodriguez has that same number of homers with 7 in 24. That's almost 15 less games, and you're still swinging at the same clip. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez strikes out on just 3 pitches. And how about Tristan Harvin recovering in this inning? He loaded him up with nobody out and allows just 1 run. We're all square, headed to the bottom of the 4th inning. Beavers and Unicorns from Jimmy John's Field.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Being a member of the Armed Forces takes bravery, perseverance, and a commitment to protecting our freedoms.
Whether you were discharged recently or years ago, Macomb County Veterans Services is here to help you access the benefits you've earned.
We are grateful to all who have served, including the more than 40,000 veterans who make Macomb their home and know that returning home is both a time to celebrate and reflect. In Macomb County, we take pride in serving those who have served us.
For more information, visit us at macombvets.org.
Everyone has something that motivates them to do better. And for me, that's my daughter Shelby. I named Shelby Construction Services after her as a reminder to always run the company in a way that would make her proud. Our goal isn't just to get the job done, but to get it done right. And that means making sure every customer has a 5-star experience. I think how a company treats you is just as important as the finished product. My daughter wouldn't have it any other way.
Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.
One tie here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Dom Menchella, Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network. Beavers just scrapped the run back on a wild pitch. Matt Piotrowski was able to come in and score. And now the Unicorns got to have something to say about it with Marcus Tiali'i leading things off. Bass leaves one off the plate, 1-1.
Yeah, there's going to be some competitive at-bats now that everything's all tied up.
Marcus skies one in the air, left field. This ball could be fair. It looks like it's foul. Way deep on top of the Chevy Pavilion, but foul. Wow.
That was almost similar, Tom, to the exact same location where Tiali'i last week hit his home run. Just off foul a little bit. But, man, when I tell you, Tom, when he can crank one, he can crank one. Just look at the height, the distance.
I mean, I lost that ball above our press box here, and then it came back down in sight, and it landed on top of the pavilion. From our angle, looked to be fair, but home plate umpire Ian Land knows best. 1-2, down and away. We're also behind home plate and have a terrible angle, but
if you're Tiali'i, you know, you're hoping that ball will stay fair.
It needed a little wind to the right. Instead, it's moving right to left.
Well, that's a huge factor, you know. Maybe since he hit it so high, just pushed it exactly foul.
Big deep breath from Sam Bass on the bump. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Bouncing up to Shin, it's a leadoff walk to TT Ali'i, the second time today that Bass has walked the leadoff man.
Now we're just going to look to see if Sam Bass is going to be able to blank these Unicorn hitters, but also keep a close eye on TT Ali'i over there at first. Even though he's not known for stealing a lot of bases, we've seen that fault happen multiple times today.
Ochoa takes outside. He grounded out to third base his first time. TT Ali'i with 2 stolen bases in 9 games. He's definitely a threat, but doesn't go all that often. 1-1 to Ochoa. But, I mean, we saw it in these first couple innings, Dom. This Unicorn team is aggressive, especially on the base paths. There have been games this year where they have they have stolen 5, 6, 7 bases in 9 innings. 1-1 slide step from Bass. He pulled that one across the plate. Good stop from Shin, or else TT Ali'i would be standing up at second.
Yeah, that was a terrific stop. Just keeping the ball in front, just push with the shin guard, pushing it over to the side. You know, from my angle as well, TT Ali'i was reading that perfectly. If that ball would have gone maybe 2 feet further, I think that we would have had to play down to second base.
Quick pick over towards Marcus. I mean, Bass has already picked off 1 Unicorn today. Why not try it again? Ochoa ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. A little bit of movement as well in the Unicorn bullpen. Almost down to a knee. Ochoa comes up empty, 2-2. All square at 1 apiece here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Final Thursday regular season game next week. A week from today, we'll be in the playoffs. Floater to second base. Piotrowski makes the catch. Throw over to first. They cannot get TT Ali'i on the double up, but a soft line out for Ochoa marks out number 1 in the 4th.
Heads up base running by number 11 over there, TT Ali'i. You know that he was hoping that it was going to float right over as we take a look at the Unicorns bullpen as Harvin has been running up his pitch count. We could be seeing him come in the next inning.
Jace Ballman getting warm in the bump. There's Cody Hanna. He singled last time to shallow left field. Just popped one up past the reaching glove of Will Coxon. Lifts one that same way, but foul this time. Hanna, the latest addition to this Unicorn team. 6'4", 215 out of Coker University in South Carolina. That's where he hails from, Hemingway, South Carolina. Here's another pop-up, third base side, foul ground this time. Ortega makes the catch, scaling back.
Seen a lot of pop-ups so far here today. It looks like these guys are just getting under it, maybe swinging a tad late. But we haven't seen a whole lot of hard contacts. We've got 1 hit for both teams and a run for both teams here going into the middle part of this game.
You're right. There's a ton of pop-ups over the last few innings. There's a broken bat, fly ball to center field, long run for Rodriguez, and he tracks it down in shallow center field for out number 3. Weber is out, and so are the Unicorns. We go to the 5th, 1-1 tie on the USPBL network.
First State Bank is a locally owned and operated business. We're part of your community. At fsbcares.com, you'll find ways that we're making a difference by featuring locally owned and operated businesses, providing access to helpful financial resources, and engaging with community. FSBcares.com is part of our commitment to the neighborhood because strong neighbors mean stronger communities.
Where good neighbors do great things.
Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood
and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be.
Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games. You know you want to.
You know, they say, losing hope, that's the real disaster. Last year, Tropical Storm Fred sent a devastating wall of water and debris down this river. And when the waters receded, Belfour was here. Not just to rebuild, but to help restore the life of this community. Belfour, restoring more than property.
We head to the 5th on the USPBL Network. It's a new pitcher for Utica. Jace Bauman, the eraser, enters the fold, and he'll take over for inning number 5 as Tristan Harvin, his night ends with 4 innings pitched, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Wasn't the worst day for Tristan, but Jace is going to give it his best shot here over the next couple innings.
Yeah, he's kept the Unicorns in it, man. It was just exactly what they're looking for. He went out there, he ate some innings. He definitely lowered his ERA and rose some eyebrows, you know. He's been keeping some of these guys knowing that if they're going to go deep into this postseason, these playoffs, he's got a weapon out there.
Yeah, Harvin did a great job. I know he let that wild pitch get away to lead to a run, but you load the bases up, and then you get a foul ball pop out and back-to-back strikeouts to Burke and Rodriguez. Tip your cap to Tristan Harvin. Heck of a finish to his outing, and now Bauman will try to eat a few innings. You guys can reset that pitch clock back to 0. Big swing and a miss from Tyler Shin. It's the 8-9-1 batters here for Birmingham.
Yeah, Tyler Shin looking to have a little bit more production at the plate, especially since he unfortunately threw that ball out into left field, looking to try and get these guys back in the game with some action off the bat.
Time called in the field. Saw home plate umpire Ian Land looking around, I think, something behind home plate. We're back to baseball. 0-1 from Bauman, swing and a miss. Jace has been awesome this year. 33 2/3 innings pitched. He has posted a 3.48 ERA, 31 strikeouts compared to just 17 walks.
That's efficiency right there, especially out of the bullpen.
The league hitting .230 against Jace as he works first base side of the rubber out of the stretch. 0-2 pitch. Shin went chasing, swing and a miss for out number 1 to start the 5th, and Bauman grabs his first strikeout.
He's looking good. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, 1 out for the Corns.
90 miles an hour, just above the zone, and Shin tried to elevate and celebrate and came up empty. Here's Pablo Ruiz. He had a slow tapper right in front of home plate that Kreisen made a nice play on. But Ruiz with the play of the day defensively so far. Baggett had a base hit out to right field back in the 3rd. Ruiz was playing there, fielded it on 1 bounce, and threw an absolute bullet to first base to get the 9-3 put out on Patrick. Strike called at the knees, 1-1. Bauman coming in at about 89-91 with that fastball. And he likes the slider and 2-seamer as well, with a little bit of a changeup mixed in.
You know, if you're Patrick Baggett, you're just itching to that Ruiz puts the ball in play towards you.
There's a fly ball out to right. It's not going to be Baggett, but it will be Ryan Enos. So Ruiz, he made the play in right. Now he sends one out there. Instead, it's in the air for out number 2.
That would just be poetry in motion. I bet you if that ball was hit towards Baggett at shortstop, there would be some extra juice on that throw over there to first base.
I agree. Now, he had a fair gripe on it, though. It was a bang-bang play. Could have gone either way.
Yeah. Well, it's a moot point now.
There's a line drive, opposite field base hit for Ben Wilcoxon. He scurries on down to first base, so it's a 2-out knock for the Beavers. They're trying to get something going with 2.
That was just an ambush attack right there. He liked what he saw. Inside out hitting. Looked like it got in on his hands a little bit, but he was able to muscle it out as it caught the lower part of the zone close to his knees. Great swing.
Yeah, low and inside, and you can get your hands that far inside of the body and shoot one out to right. Swing and a miss from Piotrowski. His bat goes flying.
Yeah, I don't think that his hands were inside.
And we've seen that a fair amount this year. Every so often, maybe once every other week, we'll see a bat go flying. We've seen a few into the netting. We've seen ones back to the brick. I don't know.
You used to play baseball.
That never happened to me.
Never?
No, especially, I mean, with wood bats, it's different. Like some guys, they have grips that they put on their bat. I can't see from our angle here if I think he does. They have a grip around the bat. Some guys just go raw, and they'll go right on the wood bat. They won't put the lizard skin or any other like tape wrapping on it to get a better grip.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever happened to me either. You know, sometimes when you're already in that swing, and you know that if you're trying to hold up, sometimes you just can't. You just lose the grip.
Wilcoxon edging off of first base. Now he's bouncing around. 0-1 to Piotrowski is back to the screen. He's down in a hole, 0-2. Matt out of Lancaster, California. Played several years of college baseball. Did it at a couple different schools. He's looking for hit number 49. He has scored the only run as this is a pick back to first. Diving in safely as Wilcoxon.
Second disengagement there. If you're Wilcoxon, you're down 0-2. You know that he can't throw over there. It's got to be a big lead.
Yep. Starting to edge off a little bit, and there he goes to second. Throw down from Kryzen's a good one, and they got him. Ethan Kryzen throws out one of the best base stealers in the USPBL. It was a good jump, but a better throw from Ethan. One more time.
Yeah, Ethan he said, you know, I'm just going to take these matters into my own hands. Beautiful throw to end the fifth.
Piotrowski will come up in the sixth. We go bottom five right now. 1-1 tie between the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers and Utica Unicorns. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
Andy Appleby. I'm the owner and CEO of the USPBL. We're a 4-team league. We play at Jimmy John's Field in Utica, Michigan. Tryon has a wealth of resources that we can tap into when unique HR issues arise, even including visa and immigration issues related to our players. Tryon has helped us to get our baseball season up and running every year and has made a difficult task much easier.
That's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Fifth Third Bank. Yeah, it's a quirky name. But here's the thing. 5/3 equals 166.7%. So we put 166.7% into everything we do. Like automatically getting you your paycheck up to 2 days early. Giving you well-deserved extra time to avoid overdraft fees. And helping you borrow from your future self. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
How about the arm from Ethan Kryzen to end the top of the fifth inning? Throws out Ben Wilcoxon, something that not many catchers can do. Ben with 15 stolen bases this season. That was his fourth time being caught. Here's a half sword swing from Kyle Schmack to start our bottom of the fifth inning. It's Schmack, Enos, and Kryzen.
It's been the defense's game here today. When there's guys on base, both teams have just been eliminating them.
Check swing. Schmack did not go around 1-1. Got to give credit to the starting pitchers on both sides. Sam Bass has limited the damage from this Utica team, but Unicorns have not put together a lot of great swings and put a ton of pressure on Sam. It's really been on Bass and the walks that have put him in trouble. But Tristan Harvin on the opposite side, same sort of thing, and he worked out of a jam in the fourth to end his day.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of good fortune for both teams defensively.
Schmack goes chasing upstairs, and that's out number one in the fifth inning. Strikeout number 4 for Sam Bass.
We've seen some drop pop-ups, but we've also seen some pickoffs, seen some throwaways and some pass balls, but we've also seen some catchers throwing down and nabbing some base stealing. It's been a good game.
Ball one down and away to Ryan Enos. He grounded out to third base his first time back in the second. Cut and a miss, make it 1-1. It's been a great defensive day, as you mentioned. The hitting just has not been there. We've seen a ton of pop-ups, rollover ground balls. But as the game progresses, I think when we hit the 7th, 8th, and 9th, these guys will be seasoned enough in this ball game alone to put some good swings on. Foul ball to the screen, make it 1-2.
Especially here in the later innings, knowing that these guys have played each other multiple times. They know who's going to come out of that bullpen, what to adjust for. But these Unicorn hitters have just not been seeing the pitches from Bass's hand very well.
Called third on the outside corner. Sam Bass is dialed in. 5 strikeouts now as he catches Enos freezed.
Right on cue, that just darted away from him. Perfect pitch from Sam Bass.
And Sam's still going strong. He's about to approach 75 pitches, but the command has been there and the location even better. First pitch to Kreisen, the catcher, high and outside.
Yeah, we've seen some guys before get around this point in the game where they're around 75 pitches, and you just kind of seeing, the wheels fall off the bus per se. With Sam Bass, he's still in the driver's seat, baby.
Another arm that was getting loose for the Unicorns. Still nobody for Birmingham right now. Head coach Diesel Dombrowski rocking with his starting right-hander. 2-1 now to Ethan as another slider goes by the wayside down and outside. As we mentioned before the game, just 2 earned runs for Sam Bass in his 20 innings of work. And now Kreisen rips one into center field for a base hit with 2 outs. Some 2-out magic from the Utica could be clutch. They're on the ropes right now, just hoping to have a chance at first place. If they lose today, Westside will clinch the #1 seed and win the pennant.
Yeah, and just seeing a bunch of fans giving a round of applause for Kreisen. Some of these people showing up here at Jimmy John's Field are rooting for the Utica Unicorns. We see it every single year that they're here.
Strike called to Demetrol, and that's a great point. I mean, we play in Utica, Michigan. That's got to be the home favorite. We were talking pregame, too. The Hoppers, they have a ton of fans when you look at the merchandise and you walk around the ballpark. But don't count out those Beavers or those Mammoths either. Those are pretty sweet unis and some great merchandise as well. Ortega gets it on the short hop, throws out Demetrol to end the 5th. A 2-out base hit from Kreisen is stranded. We played 5 innings of baseball. We're tied at 1 with just 2 hits apiece. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
We're for people, the pioneers, the underdogs, the players, and the slow and steadies. We're for people, for who they are and who they could become. Yes, we're a bank, and some say our business is all about money, but that's an old idea. Because look past the money, and you'll see real human lives. We see it, because we're for people. Huntington, welcome.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because
You guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Just one inning for Jace Bauman as they turn it over to Matt Colucci of the Utica Unicorns. Colucci making yet another appearance. This is his 28th, 26th in relief for Utica this season, and he's been incredible. A 2.01 ERA. I mean, Dom, can't say enough about this reliever.
Yeah, I mean, he's been eating some innings for the Unicorns. He has thrown 40 1/3 innings out of the bullpen for this team. Has started a couple games, but hitters are only hitting .234 against him. He's got a high strikeout rate, a low walk rate. He's the guy that the Unicorns want on the mound in this situation, this tight in a ball game.
Colucci was a champion a year ago with these same Unicorns. He's trying to repeat. Colucci, 6'2", 205, 24-year-old out of Amherst, New York. Attended SUNY Brockport for 5 years out in the Empire State. Swing and a miss. 0-1 to Matt Piotrowski.
Real interesting stat. I apologize for cutting you off, but only of there's only been 9 earned runs against Colucci this year compared to the 18 runs that he let up. Only 9, half.
Easy bounce for Baggett on a ground ball. Piotrowski gone to start off the 6th. That's efficient baseball at its finest. And Jace Bauman did a really nice job last inning as well, just filling the role for 1 inning. I think they wanted Tristan Harvin to go another frame. They saw him walk 2, load the bases up in the 4th, and wanted to kind of nip that a little bit early. And I thought maybe Bauman could eat a few innings, but it might be a bullpen day down the stretch, allowing guys like Denz, Colucci, Bauman, maybe Kreisen get in the mix. Floated to third, caught by Weber, and it's quickly 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, we're in crunch time right now. A lot of these managers for all 4 teams are going to be very selective on who they're going to use in their bullpens. They want to make sure that they are rested up for the most important games happening next weekend. Get your tickets.
Like, there's 2 sides to this coin here with the Unicorns. If you're head coach Jim Eskien and you're trying to handle this bullpen, you want your guys to get just a little bit of action, stay loose, play in a public ball game the week before playoffs, just to stay ready. You don't want to overuse them and burn them out when we come into next week. And then the other side of that coin is you want to win this ball game. Even though Utica has one of the best, if not the best, relief bullpens in the entire league, you got to think about it from 2 different sides. You either get your guys work, you focus on getting the win, because you do not want to give Westside that #1 seed in a loss tonight.
Oh, exactly, especially with how the game has been played thus far. It's very tight. It is a tight-knit ball game.
Ortega's going to take a TO. He's 0 for 0 today with a pair of base-on balls. In a very different count here, 0-2. Make it 1 ball and 2 strikes. That slider missing down and away.
And we've been seeing this recently, Tom. Last week as well as so far this weekend, it's been a close competitive games.
These teams are playing their best baseball at the right time. Here's a foul to the screen. Ortega staying alive. We cannot harp on enough the ERA for Colucci through 40 in the 3rd innings, just a 2.01. That's top 5 in the league. One-two slider gets him to swing and miss. A little bit of a check swing for Ortega, but it doesn't matter. 1-2-3 inning in the 6th for Colucci. We go bottom half, 1-1 tie still. Who's going to break it? We've been tied up since the 4th. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
time doesn't heal all wounds. Hard work, perseverance.
And we do.
We're fighting cancer with proton therapy.
And music therapy.
We're turning back the clock on Parkinson's and outsmarting blood clots in seconds.
Instead of days.
Because this is her time. His time, your time. And it's time to show we can. Corewell Health.
Sam Bass still cruising for the Beavers alongside Dom Minchella, Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network, and we got a good game on hand on a Thursday night. Not a cloud in the sky, twilight starting to fade in here in downtown Utica, and Patrick Baggett will lead us off for his third at-bat. We remember what he did last time. Breaking ball outside. If you're just joining us, Baggett back in the third inning had a base hit to right field. The right fielder for the Beavers, Pablo Ruiz, caught that base hit on one bounce and threw out Baggett at first. Make it 2-0 now to Pat.
Patrick Baggett is looking to reach base for the second time today. Granted, it could have been his third, but it's a moot point now.
There's a fly ball the opposite way, fading down the left field line. It's foul, going to bounce into the Utica bullpen.
You just got to know, Tom, that if Patrick Baggett gets on base, he's going to use his wheels. As we take another look at that play that we were exactly talking about from the start of this at-bat.
I mean, it was a rope. Great swing from Patrick. Went down and got it in the bottom of the zone. You can see right here at the bottom of the screen. Ruiz got him. Grip and rip from Pat on that one. 2-2. Just missed it.
You could even see at the beginning of that whole progression that he definitely thought that was just a nice swing, nice single for him.
And it goes down low, comes up empty on a breaking ball. Completing the strikeout of the shin, and there's one gone in the sixth. Who is going to break this 1-1 tie? It's anybody's game at the moment. It's going to be the team to put multiple runners on and execute in a big spot with 2 outs with a clutch hit. Or maybe a long ball, and a guy like this in Marcus Titiali'i has that ability as he takes strike one on the outside corner. Good slider from Bass swinging across the plate.
Yeah, we saw that almost home run just went real foul last at bat for Titiali'i. His power is mainly towards the pull side, and he's going to elevate it if he can get his hands underneath that baseball.
Marcus today, he's got a walk and a strikeout swinging. Up in the count now, 2-1. A little bit of stirring now in the Beaver bullpen down that right field side. Two-1 from Bass, yanked foul towards the Utica dugout on the third base side. 2-2.
You got to think that Titiali'i is looking to crank one. There's a lot of fans out there at the Chevy Pavilion. They don't even know what's coming yet. If he gets a hold of it.
They could come up with baseball. 3-2 as Bass misses high. And with 2 strikes, you know, you're just looking to put some in play. But at the same time, if you get a good pitch, which Marcus gets time to time, you put that thing out of here. I don't care how many strikes are on you. Cut and a miss on the slider. Sam Bass is dialed in with that pitch. My goodness. Late break gets Marcus Titiali'i swinging for the second time tonight. Another strikeout, 2 gone.
It almost seemed like Titiali'i was sitting a little bit fastball with that slider darting low and away. He had to change his approach last second and wasn't able to make contact.
First pitch to Austin Ochoa is a ball outside. 6 strikeouts now for Sam Bass.
That's good for a strikeout inning.
He struck out 4 of the last 7 he has faced. There's another spike pitch, much too far in front of the plate. 2-0. Ochoa today's got a ground out to third and a soft line drive to second. 2-1. Yeah, Sam is relying on that slider, and he is finding the exact same spot every time.
That was just a beautiful pitch. A lot of his pitches has been clipping the corners of the strike zone.
Ochoa pulls one in the hole to left field. A 2-out base hit for Ochoa gives the Unicorns some life in the 6th inning.
Yeah, it looks like he left that slider up a little bit, and he was able to turn his hands over. Ortega almost with a diving play. We got a runner on with 2 away for Cody Hanna.
Conversation on the bump now. This is the coach Nick Caruso out to talk with both Bass and Shin. In a 1-1 ball game, 2-out base hits are they're clutch, and they can turn into something, especially with the heart of your order coming up in Hanna, Weber, and Schmack. Looks to be Andrew Verbrugge getting loose in the bullpen for Birmingham.
You got to think that mound visit was more of a confidence booster for Bass. He's approaching 100 pitches, and he wants to get through 6.
It's number 95 fouled off by Hanna on the first that he sees. 1 for 2 day for Cody. Singled down the left field line in the 2nd, then popped out to 3rd in foul ground in the 4th. 0-1 to him. Ground ball in the hole. Diving backhand play from Will Coxon, but he's got no throw anywhere. Infield hit for Hanna. He beats the shift, and there's 2 on with 2 out.
Great play by Will Coxon over there. Definitely would not have had a chance at any of the bases, but still A for effort. He also definitely could have stopped guys being out on the corners there.
That brings up Jared Weber. 2 on, 2 out. He'll take a ball upstairs. Ochoa finds that hole between the shortstop and third baseman, and then right after, Hanna goes the opposite way and beats the shift. Jared's 1-0 is a strike called at the knees.
It's been unlucky today, 0 for 2. But you know that there's some pop in this bat.
Ground ball fouled on the third base line, not by much. Head coach Jim Essien on the third base line was ready to send his boys home. That's the game of inches that baseball is. Weber was just around it.
That's some great coaching. You know, if he's over there acting as if that was a foul ball right from the get-go, then the umpire in the field is just going to agree with him. But you know, he made a good play over there, thinking it's like, oh, if you're paying attention to me, it might be a fair ball. Who knows? Would have been 2 runs right there.
Here's the 1-2 from Bass. Nice block up from Tyler Shin behind the dish. That just saved runners on 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Tyler Shin, former Unicorn this season as well. Moving over to the Beavers is a nice addition, especially behind the plate. A little bit was able to give Ranko Stevanovic a break from behind the dish.
2-2 now. Weber lines one to center field. Coming over Rodriguez. He will track it down and make the catch, and we're still tied at 1 apiece after 6 innings of baseball. Weber put a good swing on it, but Rodriguez was able to track it down. 1-1, top 7 in a moment here on the USPBL Network.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run.
My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
The latter third of our ball game begins right now. Matt Colucci back on the bump for the Unicorns. And they put on some pressure right there. 2 on, 2 out. Weber gave it a nice swing, but nothing comes of it. Sam Bass, his day's got to be done. He threw 101 pitches, struck out 6 in 6 innings. He was awesome. Tip your cap to Sam Bass, just like we did Tristan Harvin.
100%. He was asked to go out there and eat some innings and then some, only keeping the Unicorns at 1 run, 4 hits.
Here's a broken back ground ball to second base from Blake Bean. Gobbled up quickly by Demetrol, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out to start our 7th inning.
It's been a nail biter.
Especially for these Unicorns. We've mentioned it a few times. You win, you still got a shot at first place. If you lose, West Side will clinch the pennant and that #1 seed and will only play on Championship Saturday, September 7th.
You got to think some of the West Side Woolly Mammoth players are watching this game close.
Strike 1 to Joe Burke. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop out. It would be the 2nd year in a row, if West Side clinches, it'd be the 2nd year in a row they did that. Ended up losing in the championship game to Utica last year.
Like we've touched on, it's anyone's ball game in this ball game and even for the championship down the line.
It's a tapped ball just foul of the third base line. Weber was all over it, 1 and 2. And we talked pregame, Dom. Between the 1, 2, and 3 seed teams right now, there's just 1.5 games separating those 3 teams. So a win here, a win there, but you only have 2 games to play. We're going to see. One-two breaking pitch high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Burke. But if the Unicorns get a win today, they'll play again in a couple of days. They could find themselves in first with a pair of wins to end their season. Here's a foul ball back towards the Beaver dugout. And for Birmingham, they just want to play their best baseball and keep their guys fresh. They know they're going to be the 4 seed as they're 10 games under 500, but you can't count this Birmingham team out one bit considering how we've seen them play over the course of the last 2 months, month and a half.
No, I agree with you. There's some fight in this Beaver team. It's not been a season to remember during the regular season. But since you got a chance to get in there, everyone starts 0-0 in the playoffs.
3-2 to Burke is ball 4. Down and outside, and it's a 1-out walk. First base runner Colucci has allowed. He went 1-2-3 in the 6th. Adding a strikeout as well, and then got Bean to ground out to start this inning.
Just dawned on me, Tom, that both center fielders today are wearing number 11.
You're right.
Got the double ones out patrolling center field.
The quad ones, if you put them together. Here's a foul ball off the foot of number 11, Chase Rodriguez. He's going to take a tour around the batter's box to walk that off. And it's funny, too, you look at Burke and Rodriguez, the 6 and 7 hitters. Before that walk to Burke, they'd done the exact same thing. Pop out to shortstop in their first at-bat and a swinging strikeout in their second.
Yeah, they're both semi-newcomers as well. I know that Rodriguez has been here a little bit longer than TT Ali'i, but you know, they've got some speed out there manning their position. as well as TTLE's also plays a little bit of the corners, Rodriguez as well. But, I mean, Rodriguez making that play, floating over to the right center gap, closing in on that baseball.
Both guys have incredible power as Rodriguez shoots one into right field for a single. Burke checks out his third base coach, will hold up at second. Could have been a first to third opportunity, but Rodriguez just hit it a little bit too hard, and it's 2 on with 1 out for Tyler Shin.
Yeah, you think that TTLE is going to get a base hit now? You think that's going to...
Possibly.
It's the power of the ones, you know?
I mean, Marcus, he's got a chance to do damage all over the field whenever he steps up to the dish. And so does Chase. We've seen numerous walk-off home runs from Chase Rodriguez this year. First pitch to Shin is on the way high and inside. It got a piece of him. Shin is hit by a pitch, and the bases are loaded for the second time for the Beavers in this game.
This is a huge moment. Huge moment. I know we've touched on it before as we take another look. It just seems to clip maybe the elbow guard, and if not, just grazing some arm hair, but still hit him nonetheless. There hasn't been a whole lot of time in this ball game to score some runs. Bases are loaded for the second time here today that we've seen. Hopefully looking for different outcomes than the last time the bases were loaded.
0 for 2 day for Pablo Ruiz. He takes ball 1. Ground out. Back to the catcher on a little slow tapper and then popped out to right field his last time. Pablo has settled in nicely. A .272 average on 22 hits and 12 RBIs this season. Swing and a miss at the 1-0. Colucci nasty with that one.
They're playing first baseman Cody Hanna in, kind of assuming that he's going to pull the ball over the third as Weber is a little bit further back on the infield as well as the middle infielders. Look at the turn two, double play depth.
It's a high pop-up out of play. And Hanna as well being on that infield grass in case Ruiz tries to lay a squeeze down. A safety squeeze it could be, and if it gets to the right side, it's got to be Hanna that crashes in hard to field that ball and come home. Because at this point, I mean, we've only had a total of 7 hits in 6 1/3 innings.
A little bit of small ball.
A little small ball could go a long way in a game like this. You're right. Swing and a miss at the 1-2. Ruiz beside himself as Colucci picks up another strikeout.
He's calm, cool, and collected out there on the bump, but you know that strikeout's got to feel good. He's 1 out away from escaping damage in this inning, keeping this a tie ball game.
Harvin loaded the bases up with nobody out in the 4th. He got out of the jam with just 1 run allowed. It's now Colucci's turn. Here's Will Coxon, a fly ball to second base, caught by Demetrol on the outfield grass. Looked like that ball was going farther, but it died and is caught to strand 3 more runners for the Beavs. It's stretch time here at the ballpark. Unicorns come to bat in the bottom half. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
Make your move with a quick and easy mortgage from Genesis Credit Union. We have mortgages to fit your life. Genesis Credit Union. Visit us today.
After singing about peanuts and Cracker Jacks, we are back. Tom Minchella, Tom Cavanaugh from the USPBL Network. Bottom 7 coming up. Kyle Schmack, Ryan Enos, and Ethan Kreisen will bat, and they will face a new arm in Andrew Verbrugge.
Yeah, Verbrugge on the bump. A little bit of a high ERA. He's seen it decrease a little bit as of late, coming in with a 6.29 ERA. Hasn't recorded a win yet this year. 3 losses in 23 appearances, 34 in 1/3 innings. He's struck out 45 guys, but also has walked 31. Opposing guys are hitting 256 on him, Tom. But they're calling on to him now to keep the Beavers in the ball game.
Final line for Sam Bass. He goes 6 innings, allows 4 hits on 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts in 101 pitches. Great job from Sam, being a complete workhorse on the bump. Verbrugge, 6'5", 200 pounds, out of Hillsdale College. Gets a swinging first pitch foul down the right field line. Burke gave chase.
You know, the Beavers are transitioning from one off-speed main pitcher in Bass to another. Verbrugge loves to throw his curveball. 50% of the time, the other 46 is matched by a 4-seam fastball and a little bit of a changeup and a slider in there, but mainly that curveball.
A 1 to Schmack. What a pitch
right
for
on
Brugge. Right on cue, man. You're right. He froze Schmack right there. I mean, we got the windows open. He might have heard us from here. You never know. One and 2 now to Kyle, the man out of Wanata, Indiana. Played 5 years at Valparaiso.
We should start making signs and holding them out the window for these guys to see that we're rooting them on.
1-2's on the ground to third base. Weird hop for Ortega. He's got to rush it to first, and it's not in time. Ortega waited for the extra bounce. It hit the lip of the grass. He had to make a weird grab at it, and just too fast with Schmack. Break it down.
Yeah, so it almost seemed like it was a great grab, but also that double pump fake right there, it almost seemed like that right there was the actual reason why he was able to reach base. If he would have just done one crow hop and thrown over, could have seen an out there instead of hesitating almost. That's a difficult play. Made it really close.
Going to go down as an infield hit for Schmack, and here's a bunt that's popped up nearly over the netting. Also, we want to mention a defensive substitution. Rocco Stefanovic is now catching for the Beavers. He is in for Tyler Shin.
The wall, baby. The wall is behind the dish.
And the wall that can bring some juice offensively. I mean, Rocco has stepped it up 100-fold since the beginning of the year on offense.
Yeah, he was underneath the Mendoza line for a little bit.
And now Rocco's got 14 total RBIs, 7 doubles, 18 total hits. And he's the captain on this Beaver team, along with guys like Ray Hilbrick and Joe Burke.
Also pushed up that batting average to 240. Excited to see what he's going to do in the later innings.
1-1. Enos tried to bunt again. He pulls back as this was not close.
Well, there's the wall in action, stopping that ball right in front of him, keeping the runner at first close.
And I got to give Tyler Shin a ton of credit, too, because he saved multiple pitches from Sam Bass. Now, Sam was great, but he tugged a few that were in the other batter's box, and Shin did all he could to keep it in front. So the Beavers, they got a couple really nice catchers on their hands. And my goodness, watch out Ryan Enos, 3-1. He almost just caught a baseball in the face.
You know, I really hope that Ryan Enos was watching The Matrix last night. He did his best impression. Oh, that's gotta have his life flash before your eyes there.
Ryan Neo Enos is now taking ball 4. So it's 2 on, nobody out for the Unicorns with their best chance to score some runs early in an inning since the second. They put 2 on, nobody out in the first and the second inning. I'm sorry, they did not do that in the first inning. Demetrol was picked off, and then Baggett came around to score on his own fruition. One for 2 day for Ethan Kreisen. He singled to center field his last time. Now tries to bunt and has it go foul.
Exactly what you were talking on, Tom. They're small ball early. They got someone on exactly what they were looking for. Wasn't able to drop the bunt for Enos, but the Beavers know what their plan is now.
Difference between a team that succeeds and struggles is the ability to do something like this. Get that bunt down, sacrifice yourself, and put 2 runners in scoring position. Kreisen again looking to bunt. He gets it down fair this time. It's going to roll foul. Ranko Stefanovic wisely watches that ball tail to the opposite side of the foul line.
That's just veteran play right there. You know that if you can't let your emotions get the hold of you there, your instincts. He just trusted him. Trusted his gut as Verbrugge took a little spill out there as well. Just slipped.
Yeah, that happened the other day with Michael Joyce on the bump. He stepped off and then slipped down. Right around that same area in front of the pitcher's mound. 0-2 now to Kreisen. He was unsuccessful with the 2 bunt attempts. He's going to try again. He does it on the 3rd chance. Verbrugge fields and he throws it away. Schmack will come around and score. Enos chugging around 3rd base. He's going to try for home and he'll score. 2 runs in for the Unicorns, and Kreisen is all the way down to 3rd. And the 1-1 tie has finally been broken here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Ethan Kreisen trusting his abilities to bunt. And you know, that might have
with
just
2
been,
strikes. You kidding me?
Yeah, that's impressive. That's good eye contact and bat to ball skills. But also just looked like Verbrugge just rushed that throw, not knowing if Piotrowski was able to get over there quick enough. Now we got our guy at 3rd and 2 runs in.
Nobody out still. Demetral at the dish. Infield in the middle for Birmingham is back. The corner infielders are in, even with the bases. When you put the ball in play, good things will happen. As Demetral skies one in the air in foul ground, Burke camping underneath makes the catch. That's out number 1 in the inning. 3-1 Unicorns. And looked like Piotrowski got there in time, but Verbrugge he pulled the throw.
You know, we see some guys run into that problem while they're playing baseball. A moving target is a little bit more difficult than just throwing stationary, but in a situation like that as a pitcher, you just got to know that if you plant your feet and throw it to where you expect your first baseman to be, it's going to be more positive outcomes than what just happened for the Beavers.
Ball 1 to Baggett. And another thing is Andrew Verbrugge's arm on every pitch is moving so fast. He's throwing with so much velocity and force that when you have to slow that down and put a little touch on the baseball, that can change things. And the accuracy can kind of go by the wayside a little bit because you're not used to throwing half the speed that you would on a normal pitch off the mound.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that. That's a good point, Tom.
1-1, turn it to 1-2 now on Baggett. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, but one of the 3 runs for Utica as he scored back in the 1st, stealing 2nd, stealing 3rd, and a wild throw got him home.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the Unicorns' offense has happened from wild throws. Actually, almost every single run that's come in to score here today.
Opposite field swing, foul from Baggett. That was a soft liner just out of the reach of Ortega. And you're right.
Both sides.
This Beaver team is one that seldom makes mistakes defensively. Their throwing is very solid. The infield play is always good, considering we see head coach Diesel Dombrowski and his team doing a ton of defensive work pregame. Another foul ball from Baggett. Count stays.
They could just be letting, they're letting the game move too quick on them, It's just been, those are just fundamental plays that, sure, they're going to kick themselves, but you know that they still got some time to fight back in this game. 6 out for them.
Ball in the other batter's box makes the count 2-2 to Pat. Only switch hitter in the league. He's been from the left side all day. Only time he really faces, or the right side, is when he faces Greg Lokinen. Swing and a miss on the 2-2. Verbrugge picks up a strikeout for out number 2. And that runner at 3rd base is a big one. Turning a 3-1 game to a 4-1 game is leaps and bounds different. And here's Marcus Titiali'i.
Yeah, but also as we take a look at the Unicorn bullpen, it's just been a fundamental issues, you know. But if you get an out at first base there, you still got two guys up. That pop-up still stays the same. He could have been out of this inning.
It's a great point. Two gone for Titiali'i. Swing and a miss at the slider. 0-2. 0 for 2 with a walk today for Marcus. Both putouts have been swinging strikeouts.
It also looked to be Garrett Bonnet out there.
Make it 1-2. Yeah, Bonnet.
No, scratch that. It looks to be Danny Dens.
Crafty lefty Danny Dens. Titiali'i waiting on the 1-2. Ranko Stefanovic almost stole that for strike 3. That was down and outside, but he made it look good. Twos are wild. Kreisen sits at third base. He had the sacrifice bunt that was thrown away to lead to 2 runs. Here's a line drive into center field. Marcus Titiali'i makes it 4-1. Unicorns with a clutch 2-out swing. And what'd you say? Chase Rodriguez, number 11, gets a hit. What does number 11 do right there for the Unicorns?
No, I think I'm just a psychic at this point. But nonetheless, beautiful swing right back up the middle with some heat right over the shortstop. Exactly what they needed.
It's going to be the end of the night for Andrew Verbrugge. Allowed the first 3 runners aboard, retired Dimitrol and Baggett, and the 2-out knock from Titiali'i extends the lead for Utica in a game that they must win. We'll take a break here in the bottom of the 7th. 2 gone, a man on first, and a 4-1 lead for Utica on the USPBL network.
What are the odds that we're neighbors, where you've known each other our whole lives, and both tear the exact same things in this exact same knee?
So an ACL tear is an injury to the main stabilizing structure of the knee.
You want a good team around you, because then you know that what you're doing is going to help you in the long run. My message to everyone who's helped me, thank you so much, because you guys helped me progress so much.
Also hearing it from a friend that's went through the exact same thing, I think sort of helps that know that there's a bright side at the end.
Jacob Pennington takes the bump. Andrew Verbrugge recording just 2 outs in the 7th. It's got to be a chance for Jacob to shut the door here. You got a man on 2 out, and he's tasked with probably the next inning or so as we delve into the 8th and 9th.
Yeah, Pennington's going to attack the zone with a cutter and a sweeper. Going to throw in that changeup and a 4-seamer, but mainly that cutting piece at 42%. He's been a reliable arm for this team, especially coming in to this game, which is now a little crooked from the last time we've taken a look. It is now 4-1 Utica due to an overthrow that scored 2 runs on a bunt. Could have been a bunt single by Ethan Kreisen, turned into a triple.
This is the 13th appearance on the year for Pennington, his 9th in relief. Pennington rocking an 8.33 ERA. He has allowed 25 earned runs in 27 innings on 34 hits. But his strikeout to walk ratio is money, 34 Ks, only 10 walks this season, so Ochoa here will likely see a fair amount of balls in the zone. Man on first, 2 outs. Marcus Titiali'i just came up with a clutch swing to extend the lead for Utica. And Ochoa goes fishing on the first.
Ochoa's also been swinging a hot bat recently at the dish.
He singled his last time. Cody Hanna looms on deck with 2 outs if Ochoa can find a way. High and inside. Nearly hit him.
It almost seemed to me that the front part of his sleeve kind of maybe moved by the impact rather than the ball actually hitting him.
Another big swing and a miss in the other batter's box, 1-2. It's a nasty pitch from Pennington. Drops it off the table with some east to west movement. Ochoa is already ready to pull the trigger and can't hold up. In the dirt. Pennington trying to escape the 7th for the Beavers. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Ochoa taps the bat on the cleats, and he'll head back as that finishes off our 7th inning. 3 runs come in to score. Schmack, Enos, and Kreisen all come around, and it's 4-1 as we go to the 8th on the USPBL Network. Unicorns on top.
I'm Anthony Tomey, CEO of Tomey Group, and we're one of the largest Jimmy John franchisees in the country. With 50 Jimmy Johns and over 700 employees, it's a challenge to manage operations. What could possibly go wrong with owning 50 Jimmy Johns? People don't show up, equipment fail, run out of bread, no tomatoes, we need onions. Many different things can happen. Tryon allows us to really focus on the food and the operations of the restaurant.
And that's why we rely on Tryon.
You can always rely on Tryon.
Everyone has something that motivates them to do better. And for me, that's my daughter Shelby. I named Shelby Construction Services after her as a reminder to always run the company in a way that would make her proud. Our goal isn't just to get the job done, but to get it done right. And that means making sure every customer has a 5-star experience. I think how a company treats you is just as important as the finished product. My daughter wouldn't have it any other way.
Call 833-6-SHELBY. That's 833-6-SHELBY.
We're headed to the 8th inning. 4-1 lead for the Unicorns, and Danny Denz is on the bump. Don, break down the numbers on the big hammer.
You know, the only southpaw out of that bullpen is coming in today with a 4.7 ERA, 1 win and 2 losses through his 18 appearances, making his 19th today. 23 innings, striking out 42, walking 14. But the big one right there, hitters are hitting 157 against him.
Yeah, that strikeout to walk ratio is the big number. 42 Ks to 14 walks. That's tough to do. You don't see a number like that besides a guy like Michael Joyce, who's got 40 and 20. Kreisen's got 47 and 24, but and far and away, Danny Denz has the best whiff rate, the lowest batting average against, and we'll see if he can carry the 8th inning. And there's another arm in the Utica bullpen getting warm for the 9th. Let's see if the Beavers have something to say about it. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. Piotrowski, Hilbrick, and Ortega.
You know, after an inning like that, a little bit of a heartbreak that you could even claim. These are the guys that you need right here. Top of the lineup, the fire starters. Try and crawl back into this ball game, boys.
So a different reliever in every inning so far, besides Colucci going 2 frames between the 6th and 7th. Here's a fly ball off the bat of Matt Piotrowski to shallow right field. Coming over Demetrol, he makes the catch, scaling back into the outfield. Tough angle, but a great grab.
We've seen a lot of pop-ups here today, but Demetrol with laser focus on making sure that that baseball is going to end up in his glove. A little bit easier per se with the sun being down, but those lights flashing and all these people watching. Great play out there at second base.
So 1 pitch for Denz, gets a pop out. Now Hilbrick will bat, lefty-lefty matchup. Dens leaves it down in the dirt.
You know, he might just flip in the most movement that we've seen here in the USPBL. A lot of his pitches, both the cutter and the slider,
There's that
darting
slider.
away.
Yep, low and away. That's a great pitch from Danny. He uses that two different ways. He'll go down and away like we just saw, and then other times he'll go front door and start it on the hip of a lefty and swing it to the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was way outside, 2-1.
Super versatile, too, with it being a slider, can take off a little bit of velo, but then the cutter's in there, or it can just keep it straight, throwing in that four-seam fastball that he also throws in around the same percentages as the other moving pitches.
That cutter and that four-seam with nasty movement, and Hilbrick sends it right back where it came. Line drive base hit into center field. Hilbrick now 44 hits on the season, nipping at the heels of Piotrowski, his teammate, for that batting title.
Yeah, super similar swing to that he had in his last at-bat that he did in this at-bat. Both right up the middle. You could even say this one was hit harder, but driving it exactly where it came from. Now we've got some base runners for the Beavers.
1 gone in the top of the 8th inning, a 4-1 lead for Utica. Swing and a miss from Ortega. The ball's out in front of Kreisen. Nowhere to go for Hilbrick. Did not have a great jump at first.
Kreisen just pounced on that ball, too. He knew exactly where it was coming. Also, his momentum, if Hilbrick were to run to second, all of Kreisen's momentum was leading him towards second base. Yep. That throw is just going to have even more velocity on it than it would if he was just standing still behind the dish.
And the throw would have been shorter, too, because it went out towards second base. You cut down 4 or 5 feet on that throw. Makes it a heck of a lot easier.
Great play by Kreisen, but even heads-up base running over there by Hilbrick.
0-1 to Ortega. Dens delivers high and away. Danny coming in at 88 with that pitch. He can get up to about 92, 93 with the fastball, the cutter as well. There's a half swing from Ortega. Tying him up was Dens. That was nasty. Timeout called from Ortega at the dish. This is a big at-bat. Down to your last 5 outs. Trailing by 3. You put a couple of base runners on here, and a big swing could change things drastically.
Especially if Ortega can climb his way onto the base paths. Blake Bean has come up clutch for the Beavers in the past.
And Ortega is hit in the foot, the ankle, the calf, somewhere on that left foot. Wow, 2 on, 1 out. Just a little too much movement on that ball from Dens.
Well, you know, he's walking it off like it was nothing, but you've got to know that that had to hurt unless it caught that shin guard. Super big ricochet. He seems to be fine over there at first base. But now we got lefty-lefty matchup as Blake Bean settles into the dish.
Bean 0 for 3 day, a strikeout, a pop out, and a ground out. He's also broken a bat today. Swings and misses at the first pitch.
Typically, these kind of matchups favor the pitcher as well because of you can start that pitch middle and dart away. But some of these guys hit lefties better.
Yeah, lefties usually have that disadvantage, as you're saying. But against Dens, just off the top of my mind, I've seen some really good swings from lefties as Bean checks his swing there down 0-2. But we were talking, Ben Ferguson, he had a hit against Dens, or hit the ball hard against Dens last week. Schellenbarger had himself a base knock a couple of weeks ago against Dens as well. And then Hilbrick sent one right back up the box.
Yeah, he's looking to see if there's going to be a ball that leaks over the plate. He's got to show some discipline at the plate. He's already chased 2.
Dens looking for a big strikeout. He's got 2 on and 1 out in the 8th inning. Off the plate, squeaks away from Kreisen. Nowhere to go for Hilbrick.
That's a great eye right there, especially knowing that that could have been the choice, the put-away pitch, as some would say. But he knew that he saw it twice in a row. He's not going to fall for it 3 times.
Tying run at the dish. 5 outs left for these Beavers. Den's a couple of taps with that front foot, sets at the chest. The 1-2. Line drive to third, caught by Weber. He could double up Ortega, and they will. Christian Ortega too far off of first, and the third baseman, Jared Weber, in his first public game at the hot corner, makes a heck of a play.
Jared Weber, quick reflexes over there. And with the wherewithal to see that Ortega ventured off first base a little too far. Great throw, great play. Unicorns still on top.
The Dave & Buster's method is designed to help you unlearn adulthood
and discover the funner you hidden within you. The you that doesn't think about adult things and stuff. Ashley, I don't want to hear anything about your car registration when we're at Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
The you want to be.
Let the Dave & Buster's method illuminate you. Begin the method today with 5 free games.
You know you want to.
Fifth Third Extra Time helps you do you better. So kick back and relax. You have extra time to avoid overdraft fees. Fifth Third Extra Time. This is banking a Fifth Third better.
We're the financial champion of Michiganders. Whether you're a goal getter or dream chaser, an empty nester or up-and-comer, anyone in Michigan can bank with us. Michigan Schools and Government Credit Union.
Beavers had a good chance to strike back for a couple, but a double play off the bat of Blake Bean fizzles the chance. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Cody Hanna will lead things off for the Unicorns, looking for some insurance. And the new man on the mound is Brett Irwin for the Beavers.
Coming in with a 3.20 ERA. 2-1 wins to losses. 25 1/3 innings pitched. 36 strikeouts, 14 walks, and opposing batters are hitting 200 against him. He's been reliable out of the pen, Tom.
He has. One of the best relievers in the entire league is Brett Irwin, rocking that 3.2 ERA, as you mentioned, and doubling up his strikeouts to walks.
Good command of the zone.
Sporting that red glove. We saw Rodriguez with the red bat earlier in the ball game, and now it's the stirrups and the red glove for Irwin. I love the stirrups, man. I don't know about you, but that classic look, that's my favorite.
No, I agree with you.
Big cut and a miss from Hanna. He's put every ball on the left side of the field today. Base hit, little Texas leaguer in the shallow left, grounded out to third base, and then shot an infield base hit between short and third. He's down 0-2 in a blink of an eye.
Irwin's moving quick. He knows exactly, shaking off his catcher, exactly what he wants to throw.
Wow.
And he utilizes it, baby.
Wow. I mean, that should just show you right there how crafty Brett Irwin is. He just diced up Cody Hanna, who was 2 for 3 on the day. And that's out number 1 in the bottom of the 8th.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. Brett Irwin knew exactly what he wanted, baby. Jared Weber stepping up to the plate now.
Weber pops it back. Nothing but strikes out of the hand of Brett Irwin so far.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
It's those stirrups, man. High chopper to third. Shoulder grab for Ortega. Nice throw to first. And it's quickly 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. Beavers also down to their final 3 outs when we come up for the next half inning. And the Unicorns, if they get this win, they control their own destiny, as we mentioned earlier in the ball game. They don't play until Saturday, and they got a date with the #1 team, Westside Woolly Mammoths, and whoever wins that ball game is going to take first place if Utica hangs on here.
That's a huge game incoming as the strikes just keep coming for Irwin.
Yeah, top of the zone, Schmack could not get the barrel there in time. 1 for 3 day for Kyle. He scored back in the 7th when he led off with a single. Now he's down 0-2. He was the spark plug to that 3-run 7th inning. That's been the difference in this game.
And for anyone wondering at home, the Beavers and the Hoppers will play their last game tomorrow night. If Eastside's going to be looking for a W as well, especially if the Unicorns can hold on to this lead here tonight.
And that Hoppers-Beavers matchup tomorrow is a likely quarterfinal game in the playoffs. Swing and a miss from Schmack.
Might come early.
Brett Irwin picks up a couple of strikeouts and goes 1-2-3 against Unicorn hitters in his only inning of work. Last chance for the Beavs. They trail by 3. We go to the 9th. You're watching USPBL Baseball.
We build roads, bridges, wind farms and pipelines, schools to skyscrapers. Our members create monuments. We operate. We're the operators and mechanics behind the advanced heavy machines that move Michigan forward. We maintain boilers and HVAC. Our members run the complex heating and cooling systems that we all depend on. Our training is second to none, and safety is our priority. We are Operating Engineers 324, and we keep Michigan running.
The perfect match. It's what so many of us are looking for. When it comes to getting a mortgage, how can you find the one that's perfect for you? Start at mortgagematchup.com. Because the only way to get a mortgage that's easier and more affordable is to find a local home loan expert first. Go to mortgagematchup.com today.
Being a member of the Armed Forces takes bravery, perseverance, and a commitment to protecting our freedoms.
Whether you were discharged recently or years ago, Macomb County Veterans Services is here to help you access the benefits you've earned.
We are grateful to all who have served, including the more than 40,000 veterans who make Macomb their home and know that returning home is both a time to celebrate and reflect. In Macomb County, we take pride in serving those who have served us.
For more information, visit us at macombvets.org.
Ben Kreisen, the closer, has entered the fold and will go for the 9th inning, trying to pick up a big win for Utica and keep them in contention for first place. Dom Minchella, Tom Cavanaugh on tap all night long from the USPBL network. Dom, give us the numbers here on Ben Kreisen, the right-hander out of Florida A&M.
The Unicorns closer coming in with a 6.02 ERA. Going for his 4th save here today. He's thrown in 40 1/3 innings, 47 strikeouts to 24 walks. The big number that I'm here to focus on is the 273 batting against. And the ERA, a little high. These Beavers are looking to kind of get a rally started, but the Unicorns want to hold on, keep that hunt on for first place.
Kreisen has allowed 21 extra base hits. That is half of the hits that he has allowed of 42 total. And it's going to be the bottom half of this order for the Beavers coming up. But when you say bottom half for the Beavers, it could very well be the top half for a lot of teams. You got Joe Burke, Chase Rodriguez, and Ranko Stefanovic. And Pablo Ruiz would be the 4th to bat in the inning. Burke, fly ball left field. This ball's cranked. Looking up and left. That ball's going a home run. Joe Burke. 4-2 ball game. And these Beavers, they got something to say about it.
The ambush tactic was out on that one. First pick swinging, and he watched it fly deep into the night as those kids chased it down. Someone's walking away with a home run baseball.
Joe Burke with the 34th long ball of the year for the Beavers. What a swing. Number 3 on the year for JoJo. He put that into the stratosphere, and Kyle Schmack could only watch. Here's Chase Rodriguez. He's going to look to bunt. Does not get it down fair. It's good to see from Joe. He was 0 for 2 with a walk. It's coming into that at-bat and absolutely jacked one to left.
Almost on cue, seeing that how Kreisen at the beginning of this year went from a starter role to now a closer. Just got caught leaving a pitch over the zone.
Now it's 1-1 strike to Rodriguez. Singled his last time. He's 1 for 3 on the day with a pop out and a strikeout. This game is very far from over with how these Beavers swing the bat. Kreisen works first base side of the rubber, sets up near the ear. In the dirt. One ball and 2 strikes to Rodriguez. Big swing and left-handed hitter, surveys center field with the best of them. Swing and a miss, down to a knee, Rodriguez. K's for the second time today, and it's out number 1 here in the 9th.
That's a great bounce back at bat for Kreisen. Not letting that home run shake him up a little. You know, he's just got to, he's go out there with a plan. Needs 2 more outs. That home run doesn't do a whole lot to you. It doesn't damage you.
And that's why Marcus Titiali'i's 2-out base hit in the 7th inning plays a big role, because it'd just be a 1-run game right now if Marcus doesn't clutch up in that spot. So you got a little extra cushion as Ronco comes up for his first at-bat. Ball in the dirt. Stefanovic came in defensively in the 7th inning. Check that, the 8th inning for Tyler Shin. Shin finished the day 0 for 2 with a hit by pitch. Kreisen's 1-0, gets past his brother. It's the Kreisen brother battery between Ethan at the dish and Ben on the mound.
Must be interesting at the Kreisen household. What do you think they do if they're not playing baseball?
Baseball video games? Maybe boxing? I don't know. That's what I...
Maybe their road to the show characters are exactly that. They have to be on the same team.
2-0, called strike on the outside corner. It was so funny. I was talking with Ben, or sorry, I was talking with Ethan, and they actually faced each other in the All-Star game, and Ben told Ethan that he was going to throw him all heaters, and with 2 strikes, Ben throws him an off-speed, and Ethan swings right through it for strike 3. He's like, come on, man. Can't stick by your word? Here's a slow tapper to third. Will this stay fair? Watching it roll. Weber, it's going to stay fair. Infield hit for Ronco Stefanovic. He tiptoes the line between the infield grass and the foul line, the chalk white.
Tom, when you're hot, man. We touched on it earlier, even before Ronco was taking his first at-bat. He's just, luck is on his side. Just clipping that, and everyone on the left side of the infield, all they could do is watch and just hoping that it was going to roll foul.
Yeah, that's the right play for Weber. That ball at some point has to take a turn, and it just didn't. And you'll allow a base hit there. You're not going to let Ronco try to scurry on to second base there. They had the right play on it at hand. Swing and a miss from Pablo Ruiz, another guy with home run power. He's coming into this ball game with 3. On the day, he's 0 for 3, a strikeout, a ground out, and a fly out. Comes up empty on the fish swing, down low, 0-2.
It's just going to take a lap, kind of refocus. This is a big moment for this Beaver team. I know, like we touched on, they know that they're the 4th seed. These guys are professional baseball players. They do not want to give up any at-bat while they're at the plate. They're going to fight.
Tying run at the dish, and Pablo Ruiz. Kreisen sets on the 0-2. Kicks and deals. In the dirt, blocked up by Ethan. Time is called. Home plate umpire Ian Land will reload on baseballs. He'll get about 4 or 5 more. It's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Ruiz.
You got to think if he reaches here or if the lineup flips over, if he strikes out and we keep this game going, we got the top of the lineup for the Beavers, Wilcoxon and the hot-hitting Piotrowski.
The only way we don't see Ben and Piotrowski is a rolled double play. Set up outside is Ethan Kreisen. The pitch from Ben. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. Kreisen pulled it right back into the zone, and it's strikeout number 2 for Ben in the inning, and the Beavers are down to their final out.
Yeah, Ben thanking his brother Ethan. Dinner is on Ben tonight on the way home, making that pitch look way better than it came out to be.
Yeah, I think dinner's on Ethan for sure. 100%. Little steak dinner for that strikeout. There's ball one outside. Ethan took a look down at first at Ranko Stefanovic. That's just two catchers smiling at each other. Stefanovic down there at first. He's been the leader behind the dish all year for Birmingham. Now here's Wilcoxon. 1-0 in the dirt, blocked up. Tying run at the dish. If Wilcoxon can find his way on base, you got the very dangerous Matt Piotrowski.
Ben Wilcoxon only with 4 doubles this season. No triples and no home runs. He's a kind of a slap hitter. Got to keep the baton moving.
Just had his 30th hit back in the 5th inning. It's now 3-0. One for 4 day for Wilcoxon. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It's not close. A 2-out walk to Ben. Wilcoxon has 2 aboard, and the go-ahead run comes to the plate in Matt Piotrowski. Here comes head coach Jim Essien to have a conversation.
If you're the Beavers, Piotrowski is exactly the guy that you want at the dish in this situation. 2 outs, he's a clutch guy. He's got 7 home runs on the season, leads this Unicorn team, tied with Chase Rodriguez. 20 RBIs, 48 hits, Tom.
It's incredible. He's 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Came around on a wild pitch in the 4th. The only other run that Birmingham has scored today was on the home run from Joe Burke earlier this inning.
Of those 48 hits, 7 have been doubles, 7 have been home runs. He's also got a little bit extra speed in those legs. He's pushed off 2 triples this year.
He takes ball 1, 5 straight from Kreisen.
That 2-3 punch for the Beavers in Piotrowski and Hilbrick. 2 guys hitting close and over 300 this season.
Kreisen sets, goes home, strike called, breaks the streak of 5 in a row. Beaver fans starting to stir down the right field line.
Another close ball game.
Down and away, 2-1. Ahead in the count is Piotrowski.
Kind of touched on this when reading off Kreisen's numbers. A little bit of a command issue.
Tying run is at first base. Piotrowski waiting on the 2-1 pitch. Fouled away, and the Beavers are down to their final strike.
That was a dangerous pitch. 91 caught too much of the plate, and Kreisen knows it that Piotrowski just missed it. Huge pitch incoming.
Unicorns 1 strike away from a date with Westside to clinch the pennant on Saturday. Down and away, 3-2 the count moves. What a pitch this will be, Dom Minchella.
I got the word that if the Beavers win this game, it's not official. He did
I heard from Dana and Katie that they would clinch without it, but I'll go with your word. Here's the 3-2. Swinging a ground ball to third base. Weber crashing in hard. Fields throws. It's away from the first baseman, Hanna. Coming in to score is Stefanovic. Wilcoxon around third. Throw to the plate. Oh, he held up. Wilcoxon was heavy around third. He put the brakes on halfway, and we have a 1-run ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Throwing error from Jared Weber leads to a run.
Who would have thought that he fielded that ball so cleanly? It just seemed like it left his hand a little bit too late. Didn't get enough juice on it.
Wilcoxon is at third. Piotrowski stands at first. The tying run is 90 feet away.
Yeah, and they're lucky that Will Coxon is still alive over there at third. He got about halfway down the line before almost getting hosed down at third base.
Yeah, he would have been out by a mile.
Yeah, he was eager. He wanted to tie this ball game up.
I saw him head down, full speed ahead, and head coach John Dombrowski held him up at third. I thought there was going to be a play at home. 0-1 to Hilbrick. Catches the corner. 0-2. Ray is 2 for 4 in this game. A couple of singles right back up the middle, and this is the biggest pitch for Utica.
Yeah, Ethan Kreisen's been making those outside pitches look really good.
0-2 on the way. Swing and a miss. Kreisen completes the strikeout, and Utica stays alive. They'll have a chance on Saturday to take the pennant and win the USPBL standings in the regular season. What a game, Dom. Oh, my goodness.
Right on par with these two teams playing each other tooth and nail to the end. Another one-run victory for the Utica Unicorns over the Beavers. And it got real dicey near the end there, Tom.
What a ball game. It wasn't the cleanest, but it was one of the more fun games that I have seen this year with a lot of playoff implications on the line.
These guys know. We've touched on it all game. They knew, both squads knew the importance of this game. Utica utilizing those overthrows similar to how Birmingham Bloomfield did. A lot of overthrows that we've seen in today's game, but you know what? They made for some interesting baseball.
The win goes to Matt Colucci. He is now 3-3 on the year, and that was Ben Kreisen's 4th save. He was 90 feet away from blowing one right there, but he comes up clutch and strikes out the side in the 9th inning. That's going to do it for us here at Jimmy John's Field on a beautiful Thursday night. Tomorrow's ball game, 7:05. The Beavers and the Hoppers live on the USPBL Network. Pregame at 6:55. Want to give a huge shout out to our entire crew today. David Forrest, our director. Alex Siegel, Don Minchella, Jeremiah Hergott on the graphics today. And from my partner, Don Minchella, you were doing it all today, man. I really got to tip my cap to you because you were in there doing graphics. You're an intern out there on the wiffle ball, and you're up here in the booth. Just so many different moving pieces for you, and you do a heck of a job in this league. And I thank you very much for making it work and coming up here for tonight's ball game.
I appreciate it, but I'm just going to be one room over from you, Tom, while we're nearing the end of this USPBL season. While you and Alex are calling the games, I'll be throwing up the graphics. Super excited and very thankful to be given an opportunity to sit alongside you and other broadcasters this season to make my debut. It has been fantastic, and I'll be a fan watching with the rest of the people at home.
Beavers fall to 16-26 on the year. Utica moves to 24-20 and just a half game of first place. They will play Saturday against Westside. Winner of that ball game will take the first place seed and the pennant in the USPBL. From Don Minchella, Tom Cavanaugh, so long, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Your final score one more time. 4-3 Unicorns take down the Beavers in dramatic fashion.
If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare, cause we unicorn. Illuminate the dark with my uniform. Every time you see me stand up and salute me. It ain't no competition, not even from you. If I hit a home run, then you know what's going out of the park. Yeah, bases loaded, we ain't letting up. Scoring back to back, you can count it up. United we stand together, divided we fall. Ain't no turning back, we done came too far to turn around and have a seat now. We don't compare.